Here we go. Hey, wow, that's a very pointy thing next to you.
Yeah, very pointy thing with no shadow detail. Darn,
Again,
another
if it were
failure.
me, I'd open those shadows up. Hey, I've been doing on a roll with I tell you what, infrared at the Chicago Botanic Garden with those willows.
Oh,
Child, man, that's fantastic
those are
stuff.
big willows.
They are huge, really beautiful, beautiful. So today, it's I'll it's funny now. There are actually people that I see on these trips who know of our show, which makes me chuckle. And I always say the same thing to them. I say, you really need to find something better to do in your time.
You know what? I've had so many people write me lately,
Yeah.
and they'll say they'll never mention you by name when they're writing me. They'll always say that
He,
other guy or he who must not be named. So it's pretty funny that nobody will say John.
he, well, I was just with Margaret and Earl. They were at the gardens, right? And they were talking about that same thing because in your newsletter you said, and he will not be there at the Horizon thing. And then so they write back to you using him and he is what she was saying. It was hysterical, but
So, how was she doing? By the way, Margaret attended our first
outstanding.
vision retreat and had a lot of self doubt going in, but has seemed to have come out with a great confidence.
She was great. She was our best promoter, by the way. She was going around telling everybody to go to the retreat, which was awfully sweet of her. But and then during my keynote, I did the keynote presentation. I mentioned the word commerce, and I got a good chuckle out of Earl. And it was very appropriate place to use it. Anyways, so but thinking about what people come up and talk to me about, they say, "Yeah, I watch your program, and Cole talks about creating for himself. He talks about, making images for himself and images that he loves and all that stuff. So why share his work? Why does he share his work if he's doing it for himself? Seems to be such a self-centered kind of approach.
Well, first of all, I would answer it is completely self centered.
Yeah.
Creating is an incredibly solitary pursuit and it's a selfish pursuit. And I think that's a good thing. Generally, being selfish isn't good, but when it comes to creating your art, it is important that you think of nothing other than your spring of creativity, what's coming up from you, what you're trying to express, what you're saying. And so it is selfish.
Yeah.
And then, but to the first question, if I'm creating for myself, why would I share my work with others?
Yeah.
And I think that there's something that the critics get wrong. They think that if I'm creating for myself, then I would never want to show it because it's personal. Well,
Hmm.
it is personal, but it is also something that when you show your work and you connect with somebody who has like minded sensibilities,
Hmm.
who have the same sort of aesthetics and they appreciate it, that's a great feeling to find, as my daughter would say, community,
Yeah.
people who can relate to what you're trying to say. And they'll say, you know what? I love that kind of work. I love centered images. I love these dark images. And we're kind of a small little group
Yeah.
because we're not in the mainstream.
No.
So the reason I create is different than the reason I show my work.
So they're
Uh,
two separate
yeah.
things. In the create moment, you're in that very vision driven, self-centered, if you will, moment. But then once you're through that, would it be fair to say that now you're just releasing it to the
You're
world?
enjoying the camaraderie of people who have like minded sensibilities. Let me tell you, when you're shooting, if you have any of these thoughts, you know that you're not creating for yourself. How am I supposed to shoot this? Like you said with the macro shot with the
Yeah.
water drops. What is the judge of my camera club like? If I do it this way, I know a lot of people love these sunsets. I'll get a lot of likes on Instagram. If you're thinking about any of those external things, then you're not creating for yourself.
Right.
You're creating for others. You're creating for likes, for sales, for wins. And if you're trying to be personally expressive, that's a killer. You're not going to succeed.
So to add to this, because I think it's part of it, there those same critics are the ones, and I know we've talked about this briefly, but let's just touch on it again. Those same critics will say, so you're photo celibate as well as creating for yourself and being self-centered and all those things. But then you don't even look at other people's work. How can you then share it with other people? Why do you share your work if you don't even look at other people's work?
Oh, it's a tough one when I will have a conversation via text or email with somebody and they'll say, I love your work and here's a link. Perhaps you can look at it and tell me what you think. And I have to be able to say, I'm sorry. And believe me, I feel terrible.
Yeah,
They've taken the time to look at my work, but I won't look at theirs. But
yeah,
it is self centered again. I am trying to preserve my own vision, trying to develop my own vision. I don't want to take any ideas that I might get from looking at their images because then it wouldn't be honest for me to pursue it.
right.
So it is. I know but here's another question people ask me: you're proposing that people be celibate. If we all took your advice, nobody would be looking at anything.
Right.
And that's a simple one to answer. There's 8 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
How many people are serious photographers trying to develop their vision who might pursue photographic celibacy? 1,000? Even if it were 1,000,000 out
Yeah.
of 8 billion, believe
Yeah.
me, there's plenty of people to look at our work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does feel bad to be able to have to explain that I'm sorry, but I'm not going to look at your work.
Yeah. All right. Well, as usual, I appreciate the conversations. Folks, we appreciate you following along. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, and comment.